without even anything fancy. There we go. All right, we'll remind everybody what time it is. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Remember, you can join me live each and every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, as I broadcast to you on Facebook and on YouTube Live. I enjoy having so many of you that join me each day live. Thank you, my friends. We got Tim Klyla here, Mark Clark, Mike Tebow. Great to have all of you here. Jerry Avila, great to see you, sir, as well. If you're not here live and you're on the replay, don't forget to give me a hashtag replay in the comments to let us know that you were here. Don't forget to smash that like button, tag an LO friend, share us in a group. If you're on YouTube, do that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. And if you'd like to sign up for our free daily lock advice, get your email to your inbox each and every weekday morning, www.ratelockadvice.com. We've got a cool text alert service. You don't have to spend a lot of money to protect your pipeline. $7 a month will do it. www.ratetextalerts.com. And if you want a reminder that I'm going live each and every day, like just hit the phone right now there, the little reminder that says Hammer is live, and you want a quick link, you can go ahead and sign up for that at hmmr.io/reminder or use the school QR code. Last but not least, check us out at originatorssuccess.com. I'm going to start pushing this a little bit more. We're seeing a lot of LOs that are getting a lot of value out of our services these days. A lot of, especially as we get into a time where rates are going to be moving a little bit lower. And so you're going to want to check it out. So anyway, go check us out at originatorssuccess.com. Find out how we can help you to get more loans from Google and social media. Also from your database, staying in touch with past clients, all that kind of stuff. Check us out. All right, for sure, for shizzle. Let's say hi to the rest of our live folks. We've got Austin Sierra. Yo, what's up, Sierra? He's with Originator Success. You don't count. Mike Brown over there on YouTube. Great to see you, sir. Monica Dinkins. Good morning. Cash, haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Hope all is well in your world. Hope you are doing well. I see you killing it on social media. Hope that that's bringing you in some business. If you're here this morning, say good morning. Otherwise, let's talk about what we got going on. A quick recap of what happened yesterday. Bonds improved slightly through the day. Not much, but there were a handful of reprices better generally in the wholesale side. It wasn't a huge move, but it was kind of through the afternoon, through the late morning into the afternoon, and that kind of leveled off. That's setting us up for better rate sheets this morning when lenders start to come out with pricing soon. You should see slightly better pricing this morning as long as the gains from yesterday held, which so far they are. We're flat on the day, and that brings us to rate sheets today. Rate sheets should be a little bit better than yesterday. Not a lot. We're not looking at big moves, but I said we're likely to see very gradual, small, incremental, just improvements in pricing kind of a thing. There's no data out this morning. It's going to shake that up. Nothing you got to worry about there, which is a good move. As far as reprice risk on the day, it's low. Very unlikely that we're going to see lenders have to reprice worse today. Also unlikely to see that you're going to get rid of any reprices better. There's a couple that are really, really sensitive, but generally in the wholesale side. But overall, it's really not much going on today. There's no data. There's no Fed speakers. Bonds are going to drift into tomorrow's CPI inflation data. That's going to be the big thing, of course. And when we roll into tomorrow, rates are going to, either going to hold or slightly improve this week is really what we're looking at. Let's remember the last CPI report we got had almost no reaction to it. When you look at rates, it was just almost none. And that's because bonds didn't react much to the last CPI data. We've seen a shift in focus now. So mortgage rates are 100% moving because of what's going on with the Fed. Right? All these other things we'll talk about, but it's really what's going on with the Fed. And the Fed moved their focus from we're 100% worried about inflation, we're not going to worry about labor, to now switching over to we're worried about the labor market and not as worried about watching inflation. The Fed has a dual mandate, and they're focused on those two things. One is the actual inflation numbers, and they use the PCE, personal consumption expenditure inflation gauge, which will come later in the month, whereas tomorrow we're getting the CPI. But even still, they do monitor that CPI, right? So they're worried about what they call price stability, and they want to keep inflation at around 2%. And they want to use that PCE inflation gauge for coming up with that 2% number. Then their other mandate is to maximize employment. They want to keep a strong labor market. And that's why, we, after watching inflation and just really, really focusing on inflation, now they're kind of moving over to the labor market because we've seen signs that the labor market is softening, which is what was bound to happen when you kind of push your thumb on the economy by raising rates and holding them as long as they did. So that's what we're kind of hanging out here. Remember that CPI inflation report is going to come out at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow morning before you get pricing. If you have anything that's closing in the next couple of weeks and it's risk averse, you're close on ratios, or we've had a nice run. Rates have continued to improve quite nicely. I mean, in fact, let's go ahead. Let me switch over here. I'm going to do the side by side for a minute. If it'll, yeah, there it is. Okay, good. And let me pop this over here. Come on. There we go. All right. So, I mean, taking a look here at where we're at with this stuff. By the way, that's the lock advice. Cautiously float anything that's closing in the next 15 days or so. Anything that's got 15 to 30 plus days, I'd be floating. We want to float into next week's Fed meeting. There's almost nothing that could happen at that Fed meeting that's going to hurt us, because even if Powell were to stand up and say, we're not going to cut rates by a half a point, the markets wouldn't believe him. They wouldn't believe them. They've got it all priced in. So taking a look here at probabilities, markets believe that in a week, it's a week from tomorrow, that we're going to see a quarter point rate cut. There's a lot of headlines in the news that talk about a half point cut. Markets are not pricing that in. I mean, it's right here in front of you. You've got 3-1. They're pricing in a quarter point rate cut. What would have to happen for this to move? Well, if we did not see a big move in sentiment after last week's jobs data on Friday, showing 142,000 jobs created, unemployment at 4.2%. If we did not see a big reaction to that, it's very unlikely we see a big reaction here on there. Hey, Mike, don't make fun. Am I buffering badly, you guys? Is it? My internet is not bad. Look, I'm going to speed test that stuff. Look at this. Mike Morano's making fun of me, y'all. How's my, he says I'm buffering. Maybe my computer is old. Look at this. Mike is making fun of me and says AOL wants my stuff back. Yeah, see, it's on your side. Mike Tebow said no buffering. Look at this. Come on, don't make fun of me. Like, I've got like at least 50 meg. This is big. Jerry Avila is good. Monica said it's not buffering. See, look at this. This is super high speed for me. Like, this is, you don't understand. Like, this is the bomb. Anyway, while that's doing its thing, we'll go back here. So taking a look here, we don't see that. So again, without being able to, thank you for being here, Deb. Great to have you. So anyway, taking a look at what we got going on here, it's really unlikely that we're going to see rates that are going to move in any real significance even tomorrow, but they'll creep lower. They'll definitely move lower as we go, and kind of where we're at. Other things to look at, I mean, if we look at Mortgage News Daily as an actual reference point, you could see we've really seen rates take that move lower in the last few sessions, moving from the 6 3/8 to 6.5 range down into 6 1/4. And I'm in AOL dial-up, Mike Tebow says. Looking at what else is here, there's a lot of headlines now about the debate, right? And yesterday, Ron Siegel. Ron, are you there? Did I miss your what we are today? I apologize. But there's a lot of this, but it's not going to affect mortgage rates. It's not really affecting bonds. I think it will play a role in some of the stocks, but I think a lot of this is more headlines. I just don't see it actually coming through, and I don't see any change here. When you look further on, there you are, Ron. I see it. I'll have to scroll back and see what you said then. Looking at November, again, they're looking at 4.5, which would put us at a half a point cut, quarter point for September, half point for November. And then in December, they're looking at probably another half point cut, possibly only a quarter point cut. That's really what's leading everything on there. Today's National Ants on a Log Day, peanut butter on celery with a raisin on top. All right, that's a bit of a stretch, but that is funny. So that's really, those are the headlines there. Anyone buying a new iPhone? They're coming out with the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus and the 16 Max and all the other stuff. I upgrade every year. Not because I'm made out of money, but because the trade-in makes it worth it. You're paying almost the same thing over a few years if you take a look at it. So keep that in mind. But anyone coming out with the new, good morning, good looking, Alan Christian. Anyone else gonna be picking up the new iPhone? They start the pre-sale, I think, on the 13th. Yeah, so start ordering at 5 a.m. on 9/13. And I'll tell you what, I actually do this and I get my phone a lot earlier. Brandy's getting a new iPhone just because she needs a new phone. Yeah. Again, there's not a huge difference, but I do find that I upgrade every year at this point. Um, just because the trade-in values keep it worth it. So, but back on the rate stuff, there's really nothing else to talk about. Again, it's going to be tomorrow's CPI inflation report. That's going to make a big deal. We're going to be watching on that. The debate, who's watching the debate tonight? I probably won't even watch the damn thing. I'll watch highlights. It's less frustrating for me. Mike said that's why suddenly my phone is acting up. Yep, they had the battery stuff. Notice that they always come out with an operating system right around when the new phones come out. Gee, it's surprising. So anyway, don't get me started. They absolutely do planned obsolescence. Tony, you're getting one too. That's cool. Look, but here I won't be watching the debate. I just don't think there's much value to it for me. I find it to be very frustrating. I'll watch the highlights tomorrow. I'll see some of the things, but I won't watch it live. I just don't. It's not going to change my decisions on how I feel on either one of these two individuals. Ron said, here's the question. Quarter points built in, so nothing will happen with a quarter point. What's your projection if they go with 50 bips? Will the market see that as a problem with the economy? Let's answer, Ron. Let's chat about that a little bit, Ron. So let me grab your question and throw it up here. Oh, you two not watching the whole debate. Yeah, I got you. So let's kind of do this, right? So looking at the quarter point, and Ron knows this stuff. He's kind of setting me up with the softballs here. The reality is first of all, if they cut the quarter point, which is what's being priced in, that's we're still going to see a positive reaction to that, and it's going to be, what does he say next? Also, as we head into the September, we get a new dot plot. So we're going to have a new dot plot. The dot plot was 2 to 3 rate cuts this year. But it's really, they're going to be looking for where as we go into 2025 and how open is the market to that? Because right now, at the end of 2025, the markets believe that we're going to be somewhere in the twos. I mean, here, let me bear this. So we're going to be, this is the projections for December of next year, that we're going to be somewhere in the twos, high twos as a neutral Fed funds rate. Markets are going to be looking for stuff like that, and they're going to be looking for more immediate control here. If we were to see a half a point cut, no, I don't think that the market would see that as a problem with the economy. I do think it would absolutely spark bonds to do really well, but I don't think the Fed is going to do that. I don't think that they want to make their first cut a half a point cut. I think that they're going to do a quarter point. I think we may even see another quarter point in November, depending on how that data comes in. But everyone's going to really be listening. Now that we've had 2 week BLS labor data reports in a row, they're going to be asking Powell about this over and over during his press conference. And we're going to see a lot of reaction to that. So we'll talk more about that as we get closer to next week. We got a lot of time and a lot to talk about, but I don't think that you'll see this change. Mike said the Fed has already said a quarter point cut won't do much. They claim they're data dependent. They say a quarter point won't do much, but they also, it's a cycle. So it's not a single rate cut. It's a cycle. And they don't necessarily want to start the cycle with a big move. I think they would have signaled more. We'll look for what Timiraos has to say. I definitely think that that's going to be something we want to listen to, the Fed whisperer there, and see what Timiraos has to say for that. And there. Mahan's an Android guy, tried an iPhone, couldn't do it. It takes a little bit of getting used to. I have the whole iPhone ecosystem, so their Apple ecosystem. So anyway, I was Android years ago, but I wouldn't bother these days. This is where Mike said a Fed cut of a quarter point won't do much, but they claim they're data dependent. And they are data dependent. Mike Morano, he agrees with you. Mike Morano says he thinks it's going to be a 50 basis point cut. We should place a bet tomorrow. Actually, well, we got time. We've got until the 17th. So a week from today, we have to think of some fun. Maybe I'll give away some shirts and some swag. We'll place some bets on the Fed. Is that legal? Are we allowed to do that? Yeah, we can do anything we want. So, all right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining me. There's 40 of you on today. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, Lisa Norman and John Melnick. Great to have you guys here. If you came in late, make sure you just watch the replay. But otherwise, that's it for today. It's nice to be back at my office. able to kind of settle in after doing these. The last couple of weeks, I have been home since I have been traveling since the 19th. I was home for 4 days in the last one, two, three, almost in the last 3 weeks. I was home for 4 days, and then I'm leaving again for Kentucky in a couple of days. In these 4 weeks in this month, I'll have been home for 6 days out of the month. 6 days, not even business days. 6 days out of the entire month. I've been doing a lot of traveling. So Ron says data dependent means they're looking backwards. You know what? They say data dependent all the time, though, Ron. You know that everything's data dependent, data dependent. And looking backwards at the data to also allow you to forecast where things are going to go. I mean, that's kind of we're looking for trends. They're looking for what is the 3-month average, 3 and 6 months average on CPI, core CPI. They're going to be looking at tomorrow, that stuff. I mean, well, guys, what else do you look at? If you're not looking at what the data says, how do you project what's going to come next? You got to use that data. So the data tells us, hey, the labor market is softening. So now they project more with that. I mean, we could go deeper, but let's give them some credit. These folks that got to these positions, they're smart people. They may not always be the smartest in the room, but they're smart people. I think so. So, all right, my friends. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see y'all tomorrow, and we talk about the inflation data. We see if we saw any big jump in rates. I'll be sure to let you know that. But the only thing you want to consider locking right now is if you've got anything that's closing in the next couple of weeks that is risk averse. Just be careful for that. So, Siegel's sharing you're absolutely right. Hold on, I will show that. I can't click the damn link. I can't even. Let me see. Can I do something? No, I could block you. I don't want to block you. I don't want to do that. Can I can't cut and paste. I can't anything. Do I really trust attorneys? Yeah, no. I got you. I agree. But Ron's showing the 30-year mortgage rates to treasuries, I think, is what you're showing up there. Are you showing the is that what you got going on, or are you just so anyway? All right, I'm gonna wrap up, y'all. You guys have a fantastic one. I will see you tomorrow, and thank you, my friends. Bye-bye.